Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Anime-Zing Radio here on the YouTube. I almost screwed up and said after 6.5 years on Blog Talk, I almost said that. I caught myself. I'm your host, Doug Engler. Joining me, as always, in the co-host seat is our good friend, Mr. Darren Starling.
Good evening.
As you can see, Darren is still at work, so we are going to mute the mic. He's going to listen in for a little bit while he finishes up what he needs to do there. We want to remind everybody that Anime-Zing Radio is brought to you tonight by Home Circle Media for the latest and greatest in anime gear, everything from pens, pencils, stationery, and officially licensed art books. Be sure to check out homecirclemedia.com today or look for them at an upcoming convention near you. We're also brought to you tonight by Casey Fox. For all of your artwork, cosplay, and photography needs, be sure to check out Casey Fox, that's KAYCIFOXX, on Facebook and Instagram. Like I said, I am your host, Doug Engler. Our co-host, Darren Starling, is still at work at the moment, so he will be joining us in just a little bit. But we are honored. We have an amazing guest joining us tonight. This is a very talented young lady, an amazing artist. I actually have above my computer the first art piece I ever bought from her. And it was the second art piece I ever bought, period. In fact, let's move the camera. I apologize for the shakiness, but right up there,
oh wow,
is the first art piece I ever bought. Please welcome Karen Gosselin to the show.
Hi, thank you. Wow, there's like all kinds of flattery, like talented, young. Wow, look at you everywhere.
I actually took count in this room that I'm sitting in right now. We have 4 of your art pieces hanging on the wall and 2 more on the other side of this wall in the kitchen.
Oh, I forgot that you had that money.
Oh, I think we still have more that are in the tote of artwork that needs to be hung up.
Oh wow. Wow.
And we have like a tote like this.
Yeah.
That is full of artwork that needs to be hung up because we like art.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I still have. I put some of the stuff I bought from Leanne is up in my studio, which is currently storage at this point in time.
And welcome to the show. It's been a while since we've been able to chat with you, and it's great to have you on as our first artist guest since we switched over to YouTube.
Oh, yay! Thank you. I always love talking to you guys. You guys are just so much fun, and it's always such a relaxing, fun conversation. You know.
And we talk a lot on the show here about how, you know, whether we're talking to cosplayers, some of the voice actors, other artists, you know, the convention scene, especially when you have tables, you become not just friends, but almost a family.
Yeah.
And, you know, we love you guys. I remember, like, one of the fondest memories Leanne and I have is the second to last Vermont Comic-Con, when we all were, you, us, and like 3 other artist friends of ours were all in the same row. And like we got there, it was just a big hug fest because we hadn't seen each other in like 3 months.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we hadn't seen each other in 3 months. Big hug fest. It's been 2 years now.
Yes.
I can't wait to see what's going to happen when we all get together again. Look out, whatever convention that might be.
Oh, it's going to be long. It's going to be awkward. So awkward and long. It's going to be great.
And we have Darren coming back. He's got his phone muted, but he can still listen into what's going on. And
sorry, that was my the fun of doing some of these things at home is that my daughter gets people that call her via her iPad, which is connected to my iPad.
So a lot of fun noises and distractions.
Yeah. Let me
And hello to your daughter, by the way. I know we haven't seen Summer in a while either.
14 now.
Jesus. Evie's 3.
She is a freshman in high school now. And Evie's 3?
She's gonna be 4 in a couple months.
Oh my god, that's not fair. So not fair.
I know. And yeah, like I said, we were talking beforehand, you know, we've known each other for a while. I put up in one of my posts promoting the show that we've known you for, God, what was it, like 6 years? 5 or 6 years at least? It's got to be more than 6 years. Leanne and I have been married for 5. So
Yeah, and we knew you for at least 1 or 2 before then. Yeah. It's been
a long time.
a long time. Wow.
And we haven't scared her away yet, so that's a good thing.
It takes a lot before you can scare me away.
And for those of you who are wondering who my little friend here is, this is Senko, the helpful from the anime, the helpful fox Senko-san. She is an adorable little character. If you haven't seen the anime, it's very wholesome. There's some cute things in there. Believe it or not, this cute little girl right here is actually 800-year-old fox. She is adorable. Absolutely love the show. I wish it would get a second season. I don't know if there's any chance of a second season or not, but she's an adorable little character. Had to this was actually my wife's choice of friends to join us for the show tonight.
Oh, it's adorable.
And I think we have a fox piece that you had done hanging up in the kitchen, so it's fitting.
It is, yeah.
Because if I remember correctly, on the other side of the wall, I have the fox over by the door, and almost right directly behind where the cat print is the turtle piece that I got from you.
Oh, cool. Oh, cool. You see, I remember doing these, but it's been so long. It's like, oh, yeah, that one. Yes, that one.
And hanging up on the wall, not behind me, but off that way, on either side of our front door, we have got the owls that you did, the two different owls, and the dragon, I believe it was a dragon at the volcano.
Oh, yes, that one. Cute.
So,
oh my God. Yes, okay.
See, with this is how long the pandemic's been going on, that even my wife has forgotten a lot of the art pieces that she has done until we recently looked through, and she's like, oh my God, I forgot I drew this. This looks terrible. I need to revise it.
Yes. Oh, says every artist ever. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I feel that so much. Yeah. It's we haven't gotten to the point where we pulled out like old artwork yet, but every once in a while I'll come across a photo, like a Facebook memory photo, and I'll be like, oh, hey, yeah, I remember that. Oh, really should have done that different. What's going on with that foot? It's
well, like you said, I think that's one thing every artist, I think every creator, every content creator, artist, cosplayer will always look back at their previous work and be like, oh, I should have done that differently. And it's a curse, I think, that all of us have to get over, no matter what it is we're doing.
Yeah, it is. And it's some of the best advice I ever got was from a veteran illustrator who, as we were talking, he says, don't fix your mistakes after you finish a piece. Don't go back and redo it. Keep it so that next time you know what to do different and better. And it's really hard to live by that rule because we all look back at those things and go, no, I can do better than that now. And but it's really sound advice, it's, you look at it and you're like, okay, next time I do something like this, I'm going to remember to do this with the lighting, or hands look more like this.
Yeah.
And it's,
or my hand might look like that,
Right. Yeah.
I could draw a stick figure. That's about the extent of my artistry,
You got skills. You got. How long have you been running Anime-Zing Radio?
7.5 years.
Yeah. See.
Which it took me this long to be like, you know what? Forget all the other platforms. I'm going to YouTube and going video. So now people can see just how goofy I am on camera.
Oh. This is this style and do right here. You're fine.
Well, after a couple of trial runs, Leanne's like, you need a hat. because your bald spot shines.
Oh.
she's like, you need a hat to kind of cover that up. That's why I'm wearing this. Eventually, I'll have a hat made with the AZR logo that she's working on.
That would be wicked cool and brutally honest.
But sometimes honesty is what you need to get better.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, and as an artist, there's times you feel like you just plateau, and you don't know what you need to do, and then you have another artist that you look up to, or even fans who are like, I like the work, but maybe you could try this, and it opens a whole new way of thinking that you never thought of, and it's like, you know what, I'll take any advice I can get.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's sometimes it's and it's different. Constructive crit is different than criticism. Criticism generally has no information behind it. It's, oh, well, this sucks. I'm like, okay, well, gee, thanks for the info. Whereas, someone, like you said, someone saying, hey, next time try X instead of A, and you're like, oh, that's something I never thought of. Thank you very much. There's actual information behind that you can use.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes a lot of people nervous about constructive criticism is they're wondering if they're going to get criticized instead without anything constructive behind it.
Oh yeah. And I know that you have done a lot of amazing artwork. You put a lot of time and effort into your pieces. You also put what a lot of fans of yours and the fans of the shows may not know is Karen has done a lot of training and a lot of work behind the scenes to improve her craft. I remember, I think last time that we really saw each other before that little Comic-Con, you had gone away for a week at a artist's seminar, learning from one of your idols.
Oh my God, yes. It's the Illustrator's Master's Class. It used to be held every year at Amherst College, but they had to move it for contract reasons. And it's the most intimidating, fantastic, amazing, growing experience I think I've ever had in my art career. I did it 2 years in a row. I'm hoping I can go again, hopefully after the apocalypse is over. And all the teachers there, they're veterans. They've been through this. They've been doing this for like 30 years or more, and so they've seen it all, or most of it. And they bring in guest speakers. The last guest speaker was the lead art director for the second 3 Star Wars movies that were made. And he was like the nicest, most helpful, energizing person I think I've ever met. And he really just like got into like, the mood of the piece you were working on, how to build it and like things to think about, how, he was talking about, because I did, I think, a bone dragon for that week, and he was looking at, and of course the fire coming out of the mouth and being raw, scary, and he was like, hey, because you've got a skull, think about how light bounces around inside the skull. And so we started just like, as we were talking and I'm painting, I'm like, so something like this, and he's like, yeah, go, and I'm like, yes, all right. It was just, it made you want to never stop. It actually made me want to just like keep going through the night and not get any sleep. But thankfully that didn't happen. It was.
I think a lot of our con goers feel that way. I just want to go all night and not sleep, and then they don't look the greatest on day 2 and 3.
Yeah, or sometimes we forget to eat, and then the hangry comes in, and a hangry artist is never a fun artist.
And as I've mentioned before, Karen's work, we love her work. We have at least 10 pieces of her art in the house, 6 of which I know are hanging up. We may have more that I didn't realize.
Oh my God. I didn't. Oh, wow. Oh my god.
Surprise! We're one of your biggest fans.
Oh my god, the love is wow.
Speaking of love, here is Haru. She wanted to come and say hello.
Oh, Haru. Oh, she's so pretty.
Haru is a tortie. We had her. We named her actually, of course, after an anime cat.
Oh.
That doesn't look anything like her, but it was a female cat.
Yeah. Oh, look at she's so pretty. I love how she's got like that delineating stripe down her nose.
And the interesting thing is this paw is double toned.
Oh, so it is, yeah.
So she's got the light pads and the dark pads.
Oh, wow.
The way the pigment ended up on her. And she loves attention. She loves her, she's being held like a baby right now, which give it time, her brother will be jealous. She's a little over a year old. We got her about a year ago. And her brother, Ainz, I'm sure if he sees me holding her, will want to change positions and be held up to.
Oh, look at she's just sitting. Oh, she's just a loving loves right now. Just like, no, daddy.
Yeah. TV's in bed. Leanne's at work. And she's like, love me because you're here. And I want the attention.
Yeah.
It's the first time since I've made the jump over to YouTube that you have been this dying for attention while I'm on the air.
Oh.
But you don't care. You just want the love.
Yeah, just loves. All the loves. So cute. Yeah, Trinity.
You've heard us talk good about Karen and you wanted to meet her, huh?
Well, I'm just, you talked me up so much, she couldn't help herself,
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, pretty kitty.
Yeah, Trinity, have her sitting like this. She just needs a beer.
Oh, hi, kitty.
Mwah.
Oh.
All right, Haru, I'm going to put you down. You go rest somewhere, okay? I know you're going to need all that energy at 2 o'clock in the morning to wake us up.
All right.
Welcome to Anime-Zing Radio, where we try to win your viewership by cute cats.
Cute cats.
A cute fox, the cute girls in the background.
There you go.
And awesome guests.
Dog, but she doesn't care. Unlike the cat, she's not doesn't care. She's asleep.
She wants to be by you, but on her turn.
Yep. Yes. Oh.
Now, for listeners out there and our new viewers who may not know you or have had a chance to meet you at one of the New England area conventions, tell everybody a little bit about how you got started in artwork and started in vending conventions.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, it started I think the first 5 years I was married with my husband Tom, and he introduced me to this wild world of conventions and took me to, I think it was a gaming convention in Vermont called Carnage, where I met my first art mentor, Mark. And it was one of those things that, kind of opened up. It's like a whole world just sort of opened up. It's like, oh, other people do art like this too. Oh my God. And then my mentor liked my stuff. We started talking. And he started mostly helping me with my oil painting. And he started taking me to a convention. What was it called? It was in Rybrook, New York. And I can't remember the name of the convention. I don't know if it's even going on anymore, but it was more like an art gallery kind of thing where you bought a panel, literally panels, where you hung up your artwork, and it was more like an art gallery and people bid on your artwork. And that was where I sold my first original.
Oh, sweet.
And, yeah, it was fun. And of course, all the big wigs are there. And so you're kind of starstruck and trying to get people to come over and give you tips. And it was, it was a mind-blowing, for a young 20-something, and trying to figure out what she wanted to do for her own art style, never mind getting into artwork. And then from there it grew did more and more conventions, started tabling, started getting work with with game companies. At first small time, at game companies. My mentor did a game company, did some artwork for him, and from there, his friend who ran his own game company, I did a little bit of artwork for him, and then I did a few book covers, and then the art director for FASA contacted me, and I started doing artwork for them. I've done artwork for them, for their new steampunk game. It was 1898 or 1889 or something like that. It's a very Victorian game, steampunk game, fantasy game, where something happens and some people turn into elves and ogres and fairies and orcs, but they're all in like current day, well, not current day, Victorian London, England.
Interesting.
With steam engines and the whole 9 yards. And it's a really fun concept, and I enjoyed working on it. And so they called me back to work on the second edition. And I worked on that with them for a little while, and did a couple more book covers. God. It's been kind of a wild ride of everything from book covers to inside artwork for, I think role-playing games, which, not like online role-playing games, but these are like the books that you buy, for the guidebooks that you buy. Tattoos and commissions, random commissions, just... And it's kind of hard to believe I'm sitting here now, and it's now like 2021.
Welcome back, Darren.
Hello.
Hey.
And for all of you who are just tuning in now, welcome to Anime-Zing Radio. I'm your host, Doug Engler. Just joining us again. He's been stuck at work a little late, and just joined us again is our co-host, Mr. Darren Starling.
Hello.
And of course, we have an amazing guest of honor. She's a very talented artist, somebody who I have at least 10 pieces of art from. Probably the artist I have the most artwork from in the house. And, aside from my wife's, I should say. My wife's an artist. We have more of her art pieces than any other artist, but that doesn't count because that's stuff that sells. But we are excited to welcome back Karen Gosselin to the show. And we were just talking with her about how she got started. It's pretty neat that you've had work in role-playing games and stuff like that, because we have a friend, Douglas Shute, who has a podcast he does on Monday nights, and they talk a lot about role-playing games.
Yeah. It's, in Dungeons and Dragons, like we all did it back in the day, and I didn't think I'd ever be doing anything with role-playing games or art for a role-playing game. And then all of a sudden art director from FASA comes by, like, so I want you to do artwork for me. I'm like, yes, okay. So I wasn't gonna say no. It was a challenge in all the good ways. It really expanded my abilities. It challenged me because this was the first time I'd worked with people who owned their own gaming companies and role-playing games, but it was all kind of sort of like, how do I want to say it? It was like it was a little more relaxed and I don't want to say loosey-goosey, but you know what I mean. It was like it was.
It didn't feel as pressured.
Right. And this was just like a definite deadline. Here's your assignments. You have this much time to do them. We want to see your roughs. We want to see your thumbnails. And for those who don't know what thumbnails are, the thumbnails are little tiny design sketches that an artist will do of, here's all the little ideas that I have, and they're usually like that big. They're not terribly big. They're just like really small sketches for you to kind of flush out ideas, and then from there you go on to a rough sketch, and then if they approve the rough sketch, you go on to like the finish, and you have to do this in this like really tight time frame, and sometimes the amount of detail that you would have that they would want was demanding, so it would push me to do things not only that I had never done before, but to work in detail that I hadn't thought I was capable of. That was when I did my first real, I've done cityscapes before, but it was kind of like, oh, here's the top of a building. Obviously, they're standing on a rooftop somewhere kind of deal. This is like a fully fleshed out Victorian London cityscape that I had never thought in a million years I would be doing. And there it was on the page in front of me. I had just drawn it out. And I sat there, I think, for a good 10, 15 minutes going, I did it. I did it. And it doesn't look bad.
And then you're like, wait, I did that.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, I did that. And yeah, and it felt good,
And of course that, as you said, that kind of opened doorways where you started going to cons and then vending conventions. What was it like when you decided, I want to vend at a convention? I want to get a table and I want to sell my artwork.
Intimidating. I wasn't really sure how to approach it. It's I'm extroverted, but I also have social anxiety. So it's just figuring out how to talk to people on a whole different level, other than what what you and I are doing now. It's a very there's a very good back and forth going on. It's relaxed. It's comfortable. When I'm at when I was at a table when I first started, and I'm looking at a customer, and I'm thinking, how the heck do I talk to them without sounding like I'm just trying to push product onto them and pressure them to buy something? And so it was a lot of started out a lot of awkward highs, hellos, hey, I love your costume. And it would eventually open up to, just general talk. And then they would, get interested in the artwork. And it evolved as I got more experience too, kind of taking on a more relaxed approach. It's like, hey, love your costume. Let me know if you have any questions about the artwork. Other than that, just enjoy your day. Have a good time at the convention. Kind of a no pressure thing. And I don't know. I found that worked best for me. And and Tom had to kind of took a different approach because he felt as a man sometimes people would react a little different, and maybe that's probably true. So when I would leave the table and he would be in charge, he kind of took on he wouldn't you have a young girl who comes up in a costume. He's not going to go, oh, hey, great costume, because it comes off kind of creepy.
Yeah.
For a guy, he was.
Oh, I know.
Hey,
I know.
Costume, So he would just kind of sit back, let them browse, do the whole, hey, this is my wife's artwork. I hope you're having a great time at the convention. Let me know if you have any questions, kind of approach,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I know Tom's position of being the booth babe. Put that in quotes,
And that's the thing too. It's as a woman behind the booth doing artwork, you get some weirdness. Guys coming up and going, "Oh, is Gosselin your maiden name?" It's right there, and I have wedding ring. Well, not now because I've been painting, but wedding ring on. What about a man and a woman with a child who says that's my maiden name? They bought artwork, so they were perfectly lovely and perfectly fine, other than that one question. But it was kind of
a question mark, red flag. Watch out for that.
It's where is this going? And then, being the artist behind the booth, I occasionally would get a guy come up hey, you make a great booth, babe. I'm the artist, thanks. And it's they would suddenly fade into the background, It's wild, really wild.
That's when you put them in their place and they know it, and they're
Yeah.
I'll be over here. And,
He's like, oh, artist. I did a mistake. I have tied now. It's like. So yeah, you get some weirdnesses, and you get some people who are like, oh, I love it when an artist is hot, and you're like, I'm not here because of the way I look, but thanks, I guess. Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen some interesting things and heard some interesting things. Because I think you've been tabling a little bit longer than we have, and I know we have some interesting stories as well.
The one person who comes up and tells you your artwork is from Satan.
She's gotten that a couple of times. We were at a kids con one time, and Leanne had her Medusa piece up, and this 10-year-old boy's like, "Why do you have that up there? This is a kids convention. Why do you have this stuff up here? There shouldn't be like girls drawn like that up here." It's like,
someone's getting that, and that was a very tasteful, like.
That was a piece she worked really hard on. I think she put like 15, 20 hours into that piece because she had to draw every scale on the snakes and everything else. Right. And she's like, okay, and I hope you have a good day.
I have that piece over one of my desks, and one of the, I mean, it's a very like G-rated. It's not. Yeah. It's not even R. It's very G-rated.
Nothing. And for those of you who are wondering, nothing about that art piece is vulgar. It's basically you see about like from shoulders up, like you would see on our cameras right now. There's nothing in there. No lewdness. Nothing that screams this shouldn't be safe for a kids convention.
Yeah, it was very well done. I love that piece. It's one of my favorites. Like I said, it's up over one of my desks down in my studio. And I sometimes don't understand. Yeah, people. It's the whole thing. Everybody has an opinion about everything.
Oh yeah,
especially when it comes to art or writing or even a podcast or YouTube. Someone's going to have an opinion. Yep.
And now, Darren, I don't know if you knew this or not, but Karen was actually my wife's maid of honor when we got married.
That was fun.
I was not.
Yeah.
And Darren actually got to talk with Barry Boswick a couple years ago when Barry was at Riley SuperCon.
Correct.
And he showed him the picture of our wedding that Barry had photobombed.
Yes.
And what did he say, Darren?
He asked me. He said he remembered it, and he asked me if y'all were still together. And when I told him yes, he's like, "See, this is why I need to be at weddings. That way That way, the couple's gonna laugh."
Oh God.
And we told that story to a friend of ours, Mario Bueno, who's on the show a couple weeks ago, and he goes, "God, I hope I get a chance to interview him because I can't." He came up with the term Barry's blessings. Barry should just start doing weddings, and you can get Barry's blessings.
Yes, Barry Boswick was so much fun, and your wedding was just so perfect, and thank you for. Oh yay!
And that is on the table behind us. Karen actually got this as a wedding gift for us.
Yes! Yay!
Karen is one of our favorite people that we hang out with at conventions, and I mean that wholeheartedly. We love seeing you guys. We love hanging out with you.
We miss you guys so much.
And convention stories, Karen's even gotten some interesting experiences when she's hung out at other people's tables.
Yes. Trying to remember one.
AAC with Leanne.
Yes.
Your introduction to Love Live.
Yes. That. Oh my God. And I remember looking at her going, is this real? I mean, and she's like, Mr. Roberts, roll with it. It's okay. Sorry. I'm like, I don't even remember the character.
Darren, do you want to perform the character for Karen?
Nico, no.
Yes.
Darren's heard the story a few times, and
Yes.
but yeah, the character's name was Nico, and I was talking with Leanne earlier today. I'm like, I bet you Karen still hasn't watched that anime because of her.
Yeah,
Which the anime itself is actually a really good anime. Love Live and Love Live Sunshine were really good. They've done like 2 or 3 spin-offs since, and I didn't get through after Love Live Sunshine. I didn't really get through anything else, but the original was pretty good. Nico was a cute character until she opened her mouth.
Yes, and isn't it amazing how one bad experience with a particular character, even if you've never watched the show, can just like makes it like 1,000 times more difficult to go watch the show. Yeah. It's like I've heard people, I mean, not just you, I've heard people say really good things about it, and I keep going back and remembering that moment going, can't do it.
You just mute when she gets into her whole little idol Nico spiel.
Right.
And it's just as bad in English and Japanese. I've heard both.
Fun.
About to say, there's a video I think I've sent Doug, and I know I've shown to several other people, where it's more than just English and Japanese. They did multiple different languages.
So that anime being dubbed in multiple languages, Russian, French, for many other countries, they had to make the Nico Nico in many languages.
Yeah. Sure, that was a challenge? Question mark. I don't know. If you have a talented voice actor, I'm sure they could do it.
Oh yeah.
The clip I watched, I'm not sure if it was actually dubbed in that native voice for whatever country it was, but it was either done by some very bad voiceovers, but it was interesting to watch, to say the least.
I do have to give props to the people who do the voice acting and the people who choose the voice actors for a lot of the anime, because I mean, for some reason I spent a lot of time during COVID watching films from other countries, and with the voiceover it just doesn't quite match the person or the character that you're seeing in front of you.
Yeah.
And whoever works with anime really knows how, whatever company, they really seem to, for the most part, just like hit that nice mark between the character's personality and the action and what the voice should be.
I agree. It's interesting to see, and sometimes, for the American companies, and this is coming from many of the voice actors and directors that we've had on the show in the past, a lot of times, if they know the show, like the picture in the background is Shobai Rock Mashimaresh. Yep. The 4 girls that are there, which it's tough to see with everybody's outlines up here, but the 4 girls that are up there, and the director of the show actually were guests on the show on our last broadcast on Blog Talk.
Oh, cool.
And when we were talking with Megan Shipman, she had already had an idea of who she wanted to cast for a couple of roles. Mm-hmm. Some appearances were people who had appeared previously, so she already knew, okay, I already know this voice actor voiced this character, so that work has already been done for the original Show by Rock and the shorts.
Right.
And, like, the little girl, that you kind of see the blue hair, her hands are kind of in a clapping motion.
Yeah.
That's Delmine. As soon as I saw that Emmy Lowe, or Leanne told me Emmy Lowe had been cast as her, I knew that they'd gotten it right, because sometimes you just know a voice actor's work and you know, like, their voice, and it just is like the perfect match. And Megan did a phenomenal job. And then like with artwork, Karen, I'm sure you can look at art pieces because you've seen enough different artists' work and be like, okay, I know Leanne drew that one. I know Don Higgins drew that. I knew Rusty Gilligan drew that piece. And some of them might be similar, but you've seen so much of their work, you know their style.
Yeah.
When you see artwork that you don't recognize and it intrigues you, you're like, I want to know who drew that.
Yes. Yes.
This show, the voice of Himiko, we had never heard that voice before. And when she started singing, I kid you not, it might be the most amazing, might be the best singing voice in the franchise of Show by Rock for the English dub side. Ooh. And it was a name I had never heard before because I don't watch movies or much TV. And her name was Giovanni Cruz.
Oh, that's interesting. So did they dub the singing as well on that one?
Show by Rock and Show by Rock Mashumai Resh, the first of the Show by, like, there's still one more season of Show by Rock called Show by Rock Stars that has not been dubbed or released dubbed yet. But every song in Show by Rock and Mashumai Resh has been dubbed.
That's interesting.
It's almost unheard of because all the licensing for the music has to be approved. The lyrics have to be approved. It's not just, okay, we need the permission to make all the speaking from Japanese to English, but now we need to make the songs translate from Japanese to make sense in English and sound good. Right. And fit the mouth flaps.
Right, which is, in my opinion, even harder than just getting the right actor. Excuse me, right voice actor for the role. That's that's an amount of work I can't even fathom. Actually, and it's not. I mean, most of the time when I've watched an anime in the past where there's been singing in the show or movie, it's not been dubbed.
It's been in the traditional Japanese form.
Right.
And now factor in the for Mashumai Resh, Show by Rock, the original, actually has got quite a few bands in it. Each band's got 3 to 5 members. Oh. That's a lot of voice actors who are taking up different bands. Mashumai Resh comes in and introduces 3 new bands.
That is so much work. Oh my!
Now the director has to find new voice talent who isn't already in a band because you don't know when their characters are going to come into the English dub.
Right.
So Megan said she had a limited pool to choose from when Mashumai Resh came out. Now she got this show, and this is the first show Megan directed by herself, not an assistant ADR director. No, she was the main person. And she cast it, and then COVID hit, and it got put on the back burner. So they didn't release it until like 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Oh. And it started pre-COVID when everything was organized.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And I'll tell you what, knowing some of the secrets behind, the casting and the directing makes Mashumai Resh probably my favorite season of Show by Rock, and I love the whole franchise because the music is phenomenal. And it's not just like a pop idol group. You have traditional Japanese. You've got, some rock music, some heavy metal music, some pop music, the cute girl groups and things like that. Yeah. And they hit many different genres of music. And the show is basically shows you like friendship through music and the power of music as a whole, not just one specific style of music, which is one thing I love about the show too.
That's cool. That's really cool.
So put that on your should watch list if you want to go to a cute anime that's fun. And I would recommend the whole thing from Show by Rock, the original, to Show by Rock Stars, which is the 4th version that has come out.
That's awesome. Where
Funimation has it all.
Okay.
And I think you might be able to find some on Crunchyroll as well. I'm not sure.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Let me see.
We love Crunchyroll.
Show by Rock is not on Crunchyroll, so it's only Funimation.
Okay.
Even though they're now the same company.
Yeah, even though they're now the same company, like some of the music is amazing. I love the songs. Like in Japanese, they're amazing. In English, they're really good as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's awesome.
It's just tougher to find the English dubs of the songs that aren't like somebody did their own translations and sang it.
Yeah.
But it was fun when I talked to the 4 voice actors of the main band about if you ever got a chance to go to a convention together, cosplay as your character and sing, would you do it? And without missing, they were all like, yes.
Oh my God, that's cool.
In fact, Emmy Lowe said she's already ordered Delmine's wig.
Oh, that would be so fun. Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
Himiko, I will give, if Giovanni ever cosplayed Himiko, I would give her a lot of credit because let me pull up a picture of Himiko. Look at that hair. That pink and yellow hair that goes down to her knees.
Oh my gosh.
And that's Giovanni's character. That's the one I was telling you. Her singing voice was absolutely amazing.
Are those giant pigtails? Giant fluffy pigtails? Okay. Oh, wow.
And all the girls, like, that's Hawan. That's the main character. In fact, her voice actor, Macy Ann Johnson, will be joining us on the show on September 19th.
That is wicked.
So we'll be talking with her. We also have a project in the works. I can announce that October 17th, for the fans of Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, we are planning on doing a Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid anime special. October 17th. We have one confirmed. We're waiting to hear back. I've sent emails out to about 5 other voice actors. So waiting to hear back if anybody else is able to join us. Excited about that. And
that's wicked cool. Congrats. That's wicked awesome. That sounds like it's going to be a really great show.
And it's a big tribute to the company. Okay, why can't I think of the name of the studio now?
Probably for the same reason I couldn't think of the name of the book I illustrated.
Yeah, on the spot, but
Kyoto Animation.
What was it, Darren?
Kyoto Animation.
Oh yeah, Kyoto Animation. They were the victims of arson a couple years ago. They actually had somebody was mad and set the studio on fire. A few of the people lost their lives, and it was pretty bad.
Oh no!
Kyoto rebuilt, and Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid was one of the great shows that they put out, and they decided to come back with season 2 or Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid S. And it was like, you know what? You came back shooting fire, showing that you're not dead. Hats off to everybody at Kyoto Animation for the work that they've done to bring back Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I think that was a pretty good statement to show that they may have been knocked down, but they weren't defeated.
That first episode alone basically had every single element of animation you wanted. Because that battle scene, it made me think of some other well-known studios that normally do action battle series.
That's inspiring, actually.
And Alulu might be the cutest of the dragons in the series.
Speaking of cute, I keep looking at your little fox. It's just, I can't stop looking at her. It's so cute.
That's why she's up here. People don't want to see this ugliness. They want to see the cuteness that is the characters that I put up. Every week it's somebody different.
Oh my gosh, her ears.
And this week you picked Senko.
Yep, I picked well, actually, Leanne picked Senko. I want that to be put out there.
She has good taste.
Oh. I can show you another character that's just as cute, but came first.
From High School DxD Season 4.
Yeah.
Character that looks very similar to Senko. I'm guessing that they probably took that character as inspiration for making Senko. But I don't have a figure of her. I just have Senko as an android.
Well, she doesn't have a figure to my knowledge.
The arguments that we get into.
That's awesome.
And quick program announcement. Next week, we are welcoming Bryn April back to the show. It's been a while since we've had her on, which means next week, Kotori Itsuka, or Ifrit's figure, will be sitting here joining us. So Bryn can stare at herself.
Yeah, that's going to be distracting. Of like the video of herself sitting on the screen, and then there's the little
the figure beside.
Figure. It's just It's gonna be worse than me, where she's like, I don't know what to look at.
Now, for people who are just tuning in, who may not know much about the world of artwork or vending conventions, what advice could you give to somebody who's aspiring there, thinking about getting a table?
Well, definitely. I mean, if you can get a table, definitely do it. Get that experience in, and don't stop because it's frustrating you. And we all have been there. We've all had those frustrating moments where it's a slow convention. You're not having a lot of people stop by your table or not a lot of looks. They happen. It's not you. Keep going. Just keep going. Keep experimenting with the artwork. Keep growing with your artwork. Keep asking questions. Keep learning. You're gonna get intimidated, and that's okay. It's what you do with it that matters. Anybody you go to at a convention, people who've been doing it for a long time, they're gonna be more than happy to answer questions that you have, to help you out with table setup or art advice or how to approach customers. They are a very welcoming community, and you will become part of the family, you will find fairly quickly.
And I can say from personal points of view and personal experience of where I'm not the artist, my wife is, so I help her set things up. But we have developed a good friendship with multiple artists at the conventions, and we actually have made a point to, before the show opens up, once our table is set up, to make a quick walk around and kind of get a mental note of what other artists have. What characters do they have? What's their art style?
Right.
Not just because we might be interested in getting something from them, but somebody who comes up to the table might be, somebody might come up to the table and be like, "Oh, I'm looking for so and so. Do you have any of her art that's not out?"
Yeah.
Even if we don't, if we know somebody else in Artist Alley or the dealer's hall or whatever has it, and we will direct it to them, because you'll find you are not in competition. No. It's not like a big box store where Walmart's fighting against Target, fighting against whoever.
Right.
As Artist Alley, it's a community. The artists help each other out so much more than you would think, and it's not uncommon for one person to be like, "I don't have that," but if you go 3 rows that way, you will find an artist. I forget their studio name, but they probably have exactly what you're looking for.
Exactly. And that's one of the things, that's an excellent point. And everybody, yes, absolutely. It is not a competition. Sometimes you will have people that come up to your table who will talk about it as though it is a competition, and it's not. It really isn't. It is a community, a supportive community. I have never, ever in the tabling I have done at any convention come across anybody who wasn't willing to help in some way. You get the occasional annoying neighbor, but that's everything. That's
everywhere. You'll find the annoying people no matter where you go.
Exactly. And generally, it's not malicious. It's just them trying to figure something out at the time. But yeah, there's a lot of really amazing collaboration and friendships made in the art community that happens at these conventions. Not even just amongst artists, but between artists and authors, artists and comic book creators, artists and vendors, artists and cosplay creators. There's a lot of really great friendships and community that is built at these things. And sometimes you get inspired by just some of these conversations, and you'll find something gets created out of some of these conversations, or your table setup changes because you're like, "Oh, great idea. Yes, that would help me out a lot. I should totally do this." It's definitely a community, and it's definitely a very welcoming community.
Oh yeah. And that, like we've said before, I originally met Karen as a attendee.
Yeah,
I believe it was Northeast Comic-Con many years ago.
It was, and I'll never forget that conversation because we clicked so much.
Right off the bat.
You did, and it was the Ladybug Commission, because was it you talking to my husband, and he said that I happen to have like this big love of bugs and insects, and you said, "Oh, well, I've got a commission for her." And then when we talked, I went,
I think so. I believe so.
That was some of the most fun I've had in a commission. That was awesome.
And then I had connected you with a former friend of mine. We actually haven't talked to her since Leanne and I started dating. She got butthurt, and unfortunately, we haven't talked to her since.
That's unfortunate. Yeah.
But I know she had commissioned you to do some work for friends of ours, and you had fun with the fairy piece for our friend Michael.
So much fun. Oh my god, that was another one of my favorite pieces with the fairy on the mushroom. And it was funny because it was I remember him saying, "I want a crazy fairy." I'm like, "You want psycho crazy or do you want fun crazy?" And I can't remember if he had a preference or not, but we ended up with the fairy on the mushroom eating the mushroom and getting high off said mushroom.
And I remember you telling me a story about somebody who was walking by and happened to see it. Be like, man, that's how it was.
An older gentleman who had actually been to Woodstock, and he was like, "Yeah, that's exactly right. I used to be. That's exactly how it happened." And I'm like, "Wow." Not a conversation I expected to have,
And like I said, some of the art pieces we have in the house are the commissions that I'd commissioned from her, or friends had commissioned for me or for my wife and things like that. And I said we love her artwork, so get a chance, check out her artwork. She is amazing with everything that she's done. And I don't just say that because she's a friend of ours. Like I said, I have purchased multiple of her artwork, and I don't purchase artwork just blindly. Something has to call to me for me to really want stuff. And to say we have like 10 pieces of her artwork in here is, we have a lot of artwork up around. Behind, right there is Sean Dunan's artwork. I forget who the dragon is above, but we've got many pieces in here from all over. And that's one thing, Karen, that from the convention scene is, as an artist, you appreciate the work that other artists do. And it's tough to be like, I'm here to make money, but I really want to buy that.
Yeah, and it's we always pick like one or two artists that we've never met before, and try to find something we like and support them, because like I said, it's part of the community, and that's how Tom and I view being part of that community, supporting those around us as well as, trying to get our own stuff out there. And when we start going to conventions again, that's not going to change. We're going to pick that right back up again. And it's, and I always love, oh God, I could go on and on. It's a topic that's just not going to stop. It's, young artists coming up to me and asking me advice. And I love the passion and I love the excitement that I find there.
And if you're out there and you're watching this program, you're watching the podcast, whether it's live right now or it's been pre-recorded and you're checking out on our channel, don't give up on your artwork. Don't be afraid to try new things. And if you have questions, there are plenty of artist communities on Facebook and social media that are very welcoming, and they will answer questions you have. If you are having trouble with certain details, how for shading or how to get hands better or feet better or certain angles to make body parts look more realistic, there are people out there who not just are willing to help you, but they are excited to help.
Absolutely.
Excited to help you.
Absolutely.
And, we laugh because Karen is actually a mentor for my wife. Karen's got mentors that she looks up to, and she's helped Leanne with so much of her stuff. And, we've turned it right around when Karen has attempted sewing things. Leanne's helped her out with the sewing side of things.
Oh my God, she has been just, yes, thank you, Leanne. I know you're not here right now, but oh my Lord, you were a lifesaver more than once when I was trying to sew something and it just, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, hold on, take a breath. Yes. I couldn't be prouder of Leanne. I see her artwork, although I haven't seen much of her artwork lately, and maybe because she's doing more sewing. But watching her artwork grow, it's like, yes, Oh.
She has taken a little bit of a break from the artwork. Part of the pandemic, I think, like when the pandemic hit, it caught everybody off guard.
Oh my God, yes.
Everybody had to adapt to different changes.
Yes.
You know, we were at times where it's like, okay, you know, am I still going to have a job or things? Fortunately, I've been lucky enough to I've had 6 days unemployed total since the pandemic started. So I'm one of the lucky ones who have stayed employed through everything.
Yeah. Oh my Lord, do I hear this? So another story. The height of the pandemic, and I got laid off. My husband had already been laid off just before the pandemic, so we were temporarily, neither of us were working. And I am beside myself with anxiety, like you would not believe. I could not sleep. I woke up with anxiety. I went to bed with anxiety. It was, I couldn't even eat. And that's when I started, you know, for better or worse, I took another job with FASA for Big Trouble in Little Soho, and made myself do the artwork. And that was a challenge unto itself, because it's trying to focus on what I was doing through all that anxiety and wondering, how am I going to pay for bills? How am I going to, because this is great. This is giving me money, but it's not like it's going to be giving me, it's not like it's going to be giving me my mortgage worth of money. You know, I need to figure something out here, you know, and it was, thankfully I got another job like very quickly. I was very, very fortunate and on so many levels, but that trying to focus on a commission when the anxiety was so high, there were times where I had to just make myself sit and breathe. And then there were times where it actually was soothing and helped me on something, having something to focus on and work on, and just not think about the chaos that just happened in my life and to my family. And at the same time, I also did some work for a Sherlock Holmes book, some inside illustrations for a Sherlock Holmes book, which also same thing, trying to concentrate through the anxiety and trying to do the best I can. And I'm going through it. I'm like, oh God, this is terrible artwork. I can't believe I'm turning this out. Oh God, I'm better than this. I know I'm better than this. And then when I turned it in, I'm like, I'm talking to the guy who I did the Belanger books, talking to Brian Belanger and Derek Belanger, and it's like, I can do better. Let me know if you want me to redraw this. And I get back, you nailed it. This is beautiful. Thank you. And I can't tell you the one, the relief, two, how much that one little bit helped in my anxiety levels. Temporarily, but still in that moment, it just like settled everything.
Once you heard that, it was the first chance you had to actually breathe and be like, it's gonna be okay.
Yes.
Okay, I did it. Everything's gonna be fine.
Yes. Yeah.
And the relief that you get, and I think that's probably one reason that I do this show, because I succumbed to the pressure of, okay, well, pandemic hit. Is Jiffy Lube going to close down? When is it going to close down? Am I going to have another job? I'd already started looking for something else outside of, I didn't even want to do mechanics. I wanted to get out of mechanics when I was going to leave Jiffy Lube. And when I went to a temp agency, they're like, well, we have this dealership. They're really difficult to get in, but we think you'd be a perfect fit.
Awesome.
And that's where I've been working since April of 2020. And
that's fantastic.
No word of a lie, it's probably the best job I have ever had in my life. I like everybody I work with, which you never hear.
No, you don't, actually.
For the first time in my life, I have weekends off. I have the option to work Saturdays, but the garage technically is closed on Saturday.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I walked. Can we swear on this?
If you want to.
Okay, I didn't want to like.
We've had the Freudian slips and stuff. I think we have this I don't think we're PG anymore, but so we try to keep it kid friendly, because you never know who's going to see it after the recording. But swears happen.
Well, all right, then I'll say this. I walked blindly then into the job I now have. And like you said, I like everybody there. I love the job. This is like the job I never knew I wanted. I really, really got lucky. It's and I'm still, and I feel like, since the pandemic, I mean, I'm sure several of you who are artists who are out there are facing the same thing. Getting yourself back into doing artwork. It's not like I haven't created artwork. I have some paintings. They're downstairs. I do have new artwork. It's just that I haven't created any, prints for a convention yet. But getting yourself back into it and trying to remember to be gentle with yourself, because you just came out of a pandemic where absolute chaos reigned, and now you're trying to find some sense of normalcy. It's going to take some time.
Oh yeah.
And I'm finally, I'm looking at my painting, right? My newest that's in progress right now, and I'm looking at it, and it's finally, I feel like I'm kind of relaxing into things, finally getting in, find my groove back a little bit,
Oh yeah, and I think a lot of people are feeling that. I know with Leanne, she had stopped artwork altogether for quite a while. She wanted to focus on knitting.
Yeah.
And, she wanted to learn a new skill. And she's one of those people that I think she tries to dip her. She's like me. She's an Aries. We want to dip our hand in way too much stuff and never really master anything. Which is, and I'll be dead honest, it's one reason I'm amazed this show has been going for 7+ years.
See, I'm not amazed, because you've always shown such dedication and love for this show. So it doesn't, for me, outside looking in, I'm not amazed. I'm just.
And I almost succumbed to the depression of the pandemic.
Yeah.
Over the holidays, I thought about calling it quits at the end of 2020.
Oh my gosh.
Darren wouldn't let me, because I talked to Darren about it. He's like, I know how much you love this show. I'm not letting you give it up.
Darren, if you can hear me, thank you.
You're welcome.
I know it. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Okay. Look, I wasn't going to let him quit, and even if he did, I was going to take it over whether he liked it or not.
And Darren has helped us out quite a bit throughout the. I believe Darren's been a part of AZR for about 3 years now as co-host.
Oh, awesome! Congrats, Darren.
Because looking back through some of the shows, because before I left Blog Talk Radio, I had to download every show we had put up there from 2016 to the last show we did about a month and a half ago on July 25th. And so about a month ago. Wow. And that was 264 episodes.
Oh, wow.
I had to download and then delete, and that was just the live stuff. That didn't count test shows or things like that. You didn't realize how many shows you really put out. So when you tie that in with Hazy Radio, I guarantee we're over 300 episodes.
Oh my God.
We could be closing in on 400 for all I know.
This have taken weeks.
It took 6 hours over 2 different days.
Oh, wow.
To download, and I have it all saved on an external hard drive.
That's impressive. That's wicked impressive.
That was. I told Darren, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I want to do something like that again. That was because not only did I have to download it, save it, and then rename every file, so I remembered A, what date the show came out, B, who the guest was.
Right.
I'm not sure how many of them you were on. I saw your name at least like 3 or 4 times. So
we've been yeah. You and Sci-Fi Saturday Night. I've been on there frequently, trying to think how often, and I don't know.
And what people don't realize is I keep a notebook here, and I'm not going to show it off for all the pages because there are contact info and stuff. But this thickness right here is since 2016, and that is just on Blog Talk to now on YouTube.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
And like I said, this page is safe to show because there are no contact info. It's just our contact list of schedule of who's coming up. It's how I keep track of things.
Yeah. It's funny how good old-fashioned pen and paper sometimes is the only way to do it. It's old school.
Mario in the chat says, "Please pray your external drive doesn't die."
Oh God, right?
Yeah, because that's the only place that it's all saved. If that goes, and this whole time we have gone self-funded. We have sponsors who have backed us since the beginning with prize packs, things like that. But financially, everything had been coming out of pocket. Sometimes mine, sometimes Darren has stepped up when we were struggling to pay bills and stuff. Darren has stepped in and be like, "Oh, I'll cover the cost this month." So, like I said, hats off to Darren for helping us out with the show, both on the air and behind the scenes.
It's pretty amazing. It sounds like you found some really good support, and I'm happy for you guys.
Oh, yeah. Our fans are amazing. Mario in the chat room has been with us almost since the beginning, I believe. And he's been a guest on the show, and he listens internationally.
Oh, wow.
And, hats off to him being in another country where it's a lot later than it is here in the U.S. Hats off to a guest we have coming up October 3rd. We have another British anime fan who's going to be joining us from the UK, Sophia Copen, who's going to be joining us on October 3rd. It's going to be fun talking with her. The ironic thing is she's a Buffalo Bills fan.
Oh.
And I'm a New England Patriots fan, but we've talked about that, and she actually likes the Patriots, and I actually kind of like the Bills.
As long as you've all come to peace with that. Okay.
Well, I have said for years there's only one true New York NFL team, and that's Buffalo Bills, because the Jets and Giants play in New Jersey. So I will call them the New Jersey Jets, New Jersey Giants. If people don't like it, too bad. The facts are the facts. You play in New Jersey, you're a New Jersey team. I don't care what the name says.
That's awesome.
I'm going to start some wars with that one, Darren. I hope you're ready.
Okay.
Because NFL fans are crazy.
I wish I could say I'd be the judge, but I don't pay attention to the NFL that much. If I pay attention to football, it's
college, and they're just
college.
As bad. Some of those college rivalries are just as bad.
Look. My state hosts some of the biggest rivalries in the nation. Because you got UNC, Duke, and NC State all very close to each other.
Oh, you have the triangle of hatred there. That's right. I remember hearing about that.
Yes. Look, if you want to divide a room, just talk football, and you will see who's UNC, who's Duke, and who's NC State, and the room will shift.
I know the rivalry there is as heated as the Red Sox Yankees rivalry leading up to like 2004 when the Red Sox finally broke the curse, because the hatred between Red Sox fans and Yankee fans were pretty up there.
It's intense. It gets intense.
And better yet, I'm not even including Wake Forest and ECU.
Neither does anybody else.
Oh no!
Yeah. I'm gonna get bashed. Just for the record, I never went to any colleges. The only college town I ever really lived in was Syracuse, so I followed their sports for basketball and football.
Yep.
So I am a fan of SU sports without having a true allegiance because I went there. It was more of that's where I lived at the time. That's the sports I had to watch. Even though I live in New York now, I am still Red Sox, Patriots. Still a Colorado Avalanche fan, as you see by the hat, even though I don't really watch the NHL much. And basketball, I still prefer college to the NBA, but I'll watch the Celtics because I have family who are really big Celtics fans, so it gives me something to talk to them about.
Right. You know what I like about the college over the NBA or the NWBA is that I don't know, the NWBA maybe a little different than the NBA, but I see more. It's not like making that it's not like 3-pointer shots all the time, nothing but net. There's actually some play around the box. It's by the basket. There's actual more tactics and technique.
Yeah, it's not drive down, pass twice, shoot. Run the other way, drive down, pass twice, shoot.
Yeah. It's. I find it more interesting. And in
college, you get more upsets.
Yeah, you really do.
Because I was at the Carrier Dome when Cleveland State beat Syracuse, and Syracuse was in the top 10 in the country on a 3-quarter shot at the buzzer.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
And as a Syracuse fan, that moment sucked. As a sports fan, that was amazing to see in person.
Right, yeah. It's and because my daughter is that age, I've started going to the local high school games as well, and I really enjoy seeing those skills being built, amongst players, and watching them, dear God, our local team. I cannot say enough good about our local team. Those girls can just dribble rings around some of the other local high schools, and it's just blows my mind every time when I watch them play. It's exciting.
My Fuquay, my high school team, they this past year were state champions for baseball.
Nice.
And they actually have a reputation with that. They've been to state several times in the past 15 years, I think.
That's incredible. That's awesome.
And one of the guys I graduated with, I forget where he got signed to, but I think they're looking to potentially sign him to the major leagues here within the next few years.
Oh, cool. Congrats
cool.
To him. That's pretty amazing. That's a good accomplishment.
And talking about people who got brought up when I was going to the Syracuse football games, I got to see a couple people play who went on to the NFL. For true fans of the NFL, if you remember Arthur Jones, who won a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens, and his brother Chandler Jones, who won a Super Bowl with the New England Patriots, I got to see both of them play in Syracuse at the Carrier Dome, and they had just as big a following there as they did when they were drafted into the NFL.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
And on a side note, Stephen Cooper, who played, I think, for the Minnesota Vikings, one of the few people ever drafted to the NFL out of, I think it was the University of Maine. I have played sandlot tackle football with in the town of Wareham, Mass, where he's from. And
cool.
I wasn't there the day he sent my cousin to the hospital by breaking his leg on a tackle.
Oops.
But it was to be able to say that I actually played football against somebody who went into the NFL, it's kind of a neat thing.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
It kind of goes back to the convention thing where, when you're a vendor at a convention, you kind of get to see things that most attendees don't, especially when the guests have tables.
Yeah.
And I know there's many a times, Karen, where you and I both have had interesting interactions with guests, whether Noel McDonald had come by with a little book wanting, just looking for quick sketches from any artist who would just do a quick sketch in his book.
Yeah.
Of course, Leanne had to put our little Ocelot Travel, make a picture of him in there. And I think after at that NECC, it was the only colored picture in his book. Everybody else did quick little pencil sketches.
Yeah. I know. That's what I ended up doing. I just did a pencil sketch. That's well done, Leanne.
And so we have the fun little interactions, and that's another cool thing. It's a bonus to tabling at some conventions where you have a chance of interacting with some of the guests.
Yeah.
Now, a larger convention like an Anime Boston, which is so huge, if you're stuck in Artist Alley, the 2 years we vended at Artist Alley at Anime Boston,
mm-hmm.
It was 12 hours Friday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., 12 hours on Saturday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.,
Yep.
and 6 hours on Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yep.
So you were in there for like 30 hours in 3 days.
Yep.
I really felt bad for those who were the only people at their table. Didn't have people who could do shifts, so one person could get up and go get food or bathroom breaks or things of that nature.
Yeah.
Which is another great thing about the Artist Alley community. If you're by yourself and you're like, excuse me, can you just make sure nothing happens here? I have to use the bathroom. The people around you are more than happy to help.
Yeah, and if they have more than one person at their table, they'll, someone will move over and make sure everything stays where it's supposed to be. And if people have questions, the artist will be right back. She's just bathroom break. And I have never been to Anime Boston, but I've been to Boston Comic Con back when it was Boston Comic Con, just before it got bought up by. I'm blanking on the name, but it's now Boston Fan Expo, and I mean it was the exact same thing, and if I hadn't had my husband there, I wouldn't have even eaten. I mean, I was so busy. I was doing commissions, and then people would come up and talk, and some of them talk for hours. They're like,
I would never.
I'm really hungry, and you're looking really tasty. And my husband would
do art piece. Artist needs customer.
Yeah. God, I'm hungry. It's a nice barbecue sauce. Yeah, and there has been more than one occasion, especially at Boston, where my husband would turn to me and like, "You're getting grumpy." I'm like, "Yeah, you need to go eat." What time is it? It would be like 1, 2, 3 o'clock, Then I'm wondering why I'm angry.
And the first year that we got into Anime Boston, Leanne was pregnant with Evie.
Oh my! I forgot about that.
And so that, like, the Friday, she disappeared for 4 hours to go back to the hotel room and take a little nap, which turned into a 4-hour nap, which had me at the table. In that time, we sold some art pieces. I think she ended up having 4 commissions that came in while she was away.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And, when you're stuck at the table that long, you don't have time to go out to the panels. You don't have time to get to the autograph sessions and things like that.
Or talk to people. Yeah. Sometimes.
But the amazing thing that happened that first year, we were at the table. The Saturday at Anime Boston, they always have the concert.
Yep.
And it's usually Japanese guests or Japanese bands that they bring in. And it ended. What we didn't know is a lot of the guests of the convention, a lot of the voice actors attended the convention. That let out they don't have another panel to do that night, or maybe not for a few hours, so they have time to kill. Yep. I'm sitting at the table, just kind of people watching. Leanne's beside me doing a commission. And I look up, and this young lady comes up to the table looking at the artwork. And I sit there and I go, she looks like Shermy Lee. And I look down at the badge, and it says guest. And I look up, I go, "Oh, hi, Shermy. How are you?" And she's like, "Oh, hi." How, because she remembered me. Surprisingly enough, she remembered me because she was the first voice actress I ever interviewed when I was on Crossing the Void Radio before starting this show.
Oh, wow.
And then I had met her at Anime Boston years prior. So we had met, and then a couple of years after that, I think it was 2 years after the first time I got to meet her, was the only time that we had gotten accepted as press.
Yep.
And so I got to do a press interview with her there. So we'd met a few times before. So when she came up to the table, and of course, Leanne's sitting there, just kind of listened to the interaction. When I said, "Hi, Shermy," she's like, "Shermy Lee." Like the pen almost went flying. The firework almost went flying. Nothing mattered because, oh my God, a voice actor is at my table looking at my artwork.
And I know the look. I can see it.
and like Jeremy is a sweetheart. I really hope that she's able to join us in the future. I know she has a very busy schedule, but we will try to reach out to her and see if we can have her as a guest on the show in the future here. But Jeremy was a sweetheart. We chatted for a couple of minutes. She signed a blank 5x7 card. Ooh. And a lot of the voice actors, especially at Anime Boston, they know that the artists and the dealers are stuck for hours and aren't able to get out. So some of them, when they can, love to see the work that the artists are producing.
I wish, you see, I love that. And I wish, not that, I mean, okay, I'm not talking smack about the other conventions, like the fantasy fiction ones and the comic ones and the gaming ones. But, it's I kind of wish, and in some cases, I kind of understand why they don't do that. Because, you get like Chris Evans all of a sudden walking off from behind his table down Artist Alley. He's going to be followed by a gigantic crowd. He's never going to be able to go anywhere. So I get it. Oh, kitty.
Here's Hines. He wanted to say hi too.
Oh, hi, little one. So yeah, but it is nice to hear of people doing like little things like that. And I kind of wish that happened more often. Oh, see, now I'm distracted by Kitty. Oh.
And right after we got done talking with Jeremy Lee, I looked up and Greg Ayers was walking by the table. And so I yelled out a hi to him because we've talked with him at multiple conventions. Anime Boston, he was a staple at for many years. Anime he's been to and things like that. So we'd seen him at multiple cons. So quick hello to him. He came over and we chatted, and he gave an autograph as well on a 5x7 card, which, like I said, a lot of them know the artists are stuck at the tables. And especially if it's long hours, because they understand the programming side of things, but I'm sure they have a schedule and they can be like, oh, Artist Alley is open for 12 hours. The dealer's hall is open for 8 or 10. The artists don't really have a chance to try to make an autograph session unless they have somebody that can go with them.
Right.
And
I'm just so thankful for having a partner through all that. That's just, it really makes a difference.
And I won't lie, I'm so happy that I can be at the table with her to help her out. And even the weekend that we didn't know if I was going to be able to be there on the Saturday that you came and helped her out. That I know it was a big relief for her, and you guys had fun being
We had a blast. That was so much fun. I loved it.
It had to have been fun for you where you're like, I don't have to worry about bringing inventory. I just get to sit at a table and people watch.
Yes, it was. It was great, and talk up Leanne and listen to Nico.
Darren, would you like to repeat the? I pick on him because we did a show called AZR After Hours, where we did some recordings, which have never actually made the editing block to be put up on YouTube. But in one of the recording sessions, Darren actually did a high-pitched Nico Ni, not thinking his mic was going to pick it up.
Oops.
So we all heard it without him thinking that we were going to hear it.
Well, when you're laying in bed and your laptop is about 7-8 feet away from you, and you're doing it in a fairly low enough voice, knowing that your laptop mic, well, I take it back. My laptop mic was actually really good.
You were hoping it wasn't as good as it was.
Right.
Pretty much.
So that's where the fun comes. We like to pick on each other about different things.
Yep.
I mean, would you be friends otherwise? Is
Maybe.
what we do?
I mean, he likes to compare me to Donkey from Shrek because apparently with the animes that have come out in the last couple of years, I have developed an interest in dragon girls.
I was going to say, you married a dragon girl?
I've developed it. I do have a couple of waifus who you could consider to be of the dragon species. Lady Scotty from Monster Girl Doctor is one of them.
Oh, God.
And I'm amazed I remembered that name.
And Laika from Killing Slimes.
Malim from Killing Slimes.
I think he mean reincarnated as a slime.
Oh, reincarnated as a slime, yeah. Oh, yeah, Laika from 300, killing slimes for 300 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to find a good image of Lady Scotty and I'll send it to Karen so she can see who I'm talking about.
Can't you put it on your screen and show everybody?
I might be able to, although I haven't been able to figure out how to screen share on this computer because I don't have the video card to pull up the extra window and show. Because this computer is kind of crap.
Oh, okay. So, because on mine I see like a little set of icons on the very bottom where it's like mute, stop cam.
It says screen share. I just sent the picture to you, Darren. If you're able to pull up to screen share an image of her, I will send you the image. I just sent Karen.
I would have to fire up my laptop because I'm on my tablet right now.
Ah, okay.
That's cool. You can always message it to me later.
I already sent it through Facebook's Messenger, so
okay.
That way you can see who I'm talking about.
Okay. I am rebooting my tablet and hoping that.
Actually, let's see if I can do it this way. But that is Lady Scotty.
Oh, I like that design.
It's a cute character, and
wow.
The anime itself was pretty fun. It's another Monster Musume anime. The English title was Monster Girl Doctor.
Monster Girl Doctor.
And that was the English title. It was actually really good. I enjoyed it.
I'm really loving those ears on her. Those are really, really cool.
So she is a dragon girl that has a she's the overseer of an entire kingdom where monsters and humans coincide in peace and work together, as opposed to hundreds and hundreds of years of war.
That is wicked cool. I think I need to check this out because that sounds really like a really fun concept.
That one I believe was on. Monster Girl Doctor is on Crunchyroll in sub and dub.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And then, nope, never mind. There were no Dragon Girls on Interviews with Monster Girls.
No, I don't think there was.
No, there was a Dullahan, Vampire, and Snow.
I think it was Snow Girl. Although we all know the best Snow Girl was Mizure from Rosario.
Of course. Because I fully agree with him.
And Karen has been an anime fan. We were actually very lucky. Karen showed up to an anime convention that we were both going to be vending at one time. She's like, I've got these 2 totes of anime stuff that we're getting rid of. Do you want it?
Yes, that was when we were cleaning out, and there was a bunch of stuff that we just weren't watching anymore, for better or worse. Or
that hutch over there has most of it, and then you probably recognize some of the manga up there.
Oh yes,
and the Shonen Jumps are up there, so we still have absolutely everything. I'm a pack rat. I don't like getting rid of much.
Oh, I am maybe an accidental pack rat in that. So what happens is we get going on a project and we have to store stuff somewhere. So it's inevitably either the office where my work from home office or my art studio. And then I end up having to move what I'm painting to the living room, which is what's happening now. I have my easel, my traveling easel, like right here, with a kitchen chair, and that's where I am currently creating instead of my studio. But when I do get cleaning, if I have not looked at it in the last 5 years, I will get rid of it.
Well, no, if it's any anime stuff, we would always be happy to welcome it here, and we'll have a good home.
Absolutely. If we have any, anything No, I'm keeping that. Yeah.
If we had no, I'm keeping that. Nope, keeping that one.
Sorry, Doug, you're out of luck.
Any high school DxD stuff that we can make Darren drool over,
Right. Right.
Pretty much.
Oh, it seems.
You know, is it bad? After seeing all these Itasha, I've debated getting a potentially a Zenobia wrap on my truck in the future, simply for the fact that my truck already matches their hair color.
You should do it.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, we're trying to figure out who we want to put across the hood of our Focus,
Well, let's see. I've seen a lot of interesting Itasha that have a whole bunch of stuff. I saw one guy that had the Rias not Rias, but the Grimmery symbol on his windshield. I mean, on his back glass.
Interesting.
I think it was of his pickup truck, because he didn't have the sliding rear window.
Because I think I'd wanted to get like a nice big vinyl of, once we have the new logo, Leanne's going to be working on that more this week, because we need to get, business cards made and shipped out before Kineticon, which is coming up in 2 weeks.
Oh,
September 9th through 12th. You can get those business cards in quick.
Yeah. And now, thank you. Now I'm looking, and now I'm kind of going, I kind of need business cards now.
And
this is stuff we hadn't thought about for a long time.
I know, right?
Thank you for reminding me. I need to redo my business cards.
If you're looking for an artist, we might know of somebody.
Like 1 or 2 people. It's no big deal. Just, we'll drop in.
And I know it's like we've had the same logo for a while. We're still going to keep Anime as our logo girl, but her outfit's going to change. And we've been talking about, once we start doing conventions again, instead of focusing on Casey Creation side of stuff, we're going to try to push the show more. So we're going to start looking at getting tables for AZR, as opposed to the Casey Fox things. And I think we had rebranded, or she had rebranded from Casey Creations to Casey Fox since the last time we had chatted with you too.
She has, yes, and she sent me that message when she was doing it. Yeah,
she said it sounded a little bit better, a little bit more professional. Plus, we found another Casey Creations.
Yeah,
we had actually found another Casey Creations at the same con that we had a table at.
Oh, really?
They sold chocolate. And instead of KAYCI, they were just the letters KC. And it was C, Creations with a C, where hers was with a K, or was with a K.
Oh, cool.
But with her love of foxes, obviously she chose a fox. And she changed her studio name to Casey Fox.
It is a good name. Although I do like Casey Creations as well.
I like them both. It's something she felt she needed to do to kind of like recreate her brand and keep those creative juices going. Because as a creator yourself, Karen, every now and then you need to like change something or make yourself uncomfortable to produce better work or more work.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. You really do. And if you're not doing something to make yourself uncomfortable, then you're not learning, even though it's. You're like, I don't wanna, but you gotta practice. You gotta make yourself uncomfortable. You gotta challenge yourself to grow, and sometimes it really sucks.
And one thing I can say, like doing the radio show, and I know I've been doing this for 7.5 years. This is still very much out of my comfort zone. Especially where, like, if I told people I graduated high school with that I do a live talk radio show and I've interviewed celebrities and the people I've talked to, they probably wouldn't believe me, because in high school I had like 3 friends. I really didn't talk to anybody. I was kind of that person that was in the middle. I wasn't popular, but I wasn't picked on. I was just kind of took up space.
Yeah.
And So for me to have, like, this breaks me out of my shell. It gets me out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And there are times, like, I've had guests on the show that I have been nervous about. Voice actors, artists, things like that. I get nervous before many of these shows.
Yeah.
It may not come through. And there are times when I will have those extremely fanboy moments, like Show by Rock. One time we had Marissa Lenti on.
Yeah.
The fanboy came out hard because of a character Marissa voiced. And the worst part about that was we've had Marissa on the show like 3 times prior to that.
Yep.
She voices the main character in an anime called Kuma 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 Bear that I fell in love with. We get her on the show to talk about that, and I'm the fanboy comes out, and I'm like 5-year-old.
I've done this. Yes. I know this feeling. Yes, I've done this. There's one particular artist who's like been doing this. For decades and decades and decades, and he's been like, for all you youngins out there, look up Boris Vallejo. He's amazing. His wife Julie Bell is the sweetest, kindest person, most amazing person you will ever meet. And they were like back in the 70s and 80s prolific, in like all the magazines and books back in the day. And then I finally meet them, and it didn't matter. Like, I had met them last year, and I sat down and had dinner with them. The next year, I was like, hi, I was like, oh my god, I love your stuff. Like a 5-year-old.
In your head, you're like, keep it together, and all of a sudden,
yeah, play it cool. You've met them before. They're human like everybody else. Oh no, they're gods. I can't handle this. Oh, so, yeah, I totally get that feeling. And there's been conventions where, like, certain celebrities that everybody kind of goes like all nuts for, and they swoon over. I'm kind of like, okay, yeah, good. And then like someone will come up and all of a sudden I can't contain myself. I'm a child. I'm a 40-something child, and I will just gush.
I think that's one of the fun things about having a table at a convention. Now, as an artist or a dealer or a vendor of some sort, having a table at a convention can feel like be like a lifeline, because you always have a place to sit and relax.
Yes.
You lose the feeling of being able to walk around to hit as many panels as you want or interact or things of that nature. But every now and then you get those surprises, like with us when Jeremy Lee and Greg Ayers came to the table, where you're sitting there and you're just people watching, and one of the guests just comes up and starts talking to you.
Yeah.
And you may have no idea who that is.
Right. And then you find out and you're like, I was just talking to so-and-so. I was just talking to so-and-so. Like you did. It was like, oh my God, I was just talking to this person. It's sometimes you do it on the down low, like when no one else is watching in the car when you drive home.
or like first time the only time we had a sit down interview with J. Michael Tatum at AAC.
Oh my God, I love him. He's so sweet.
That is Leanne's favorite voice actor. Leanne and I were just friends at the time, but we had her and her ex-husband working the camera. So I had press. They didn't, but they came into the interview as my camera crew.
That's so cool. He's
and we got to sit down, have about a 15-minute interview with him. Awesome guy. The whole time she held it together, and I told him, I'm like, when we do this, she's a huge fan. She may fangirl fierce. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to warn you ahead of time. The pictures she has with him on her Facebook, she has resting bitch face. So hard. But it was the only, like, people were like, weren't you happy to meet him? She's like, yeah, but that was the only way I could keep myself from being a 5-year-old fangirl. We had the whole interview. We got pictures with him. We went out to a nice little diner down in Manchester, down from AAC.
Oh, I think I know the one. Yes.
And the fanboy and fangirl came out hardcore. Like, we sat down. We thought we were the only ones in the restaurant. And then two old couples come in and sit down across the room, like a booth on the other side of the dining area. And we're freaking out that we just met J. Michael Tatum. I think we scared them. I'm like, ah! You know?
You remember? Sorry, no. Finish your story.
I was gonna say since then we've met Michael Tatum for many times. He's been a guest on the show 2 or 3 times, and he's embarrassed her at his 18+ panel in front of a full and you know AAC, Karen, where the main room is, where they hold the masquerade and stuff like that. His 18+ panel that is packed front to back. Yeah. Because we were press, we went in for the panel before and moved to the very front because we could stay being press. Yep. Well, she went, took a shower, got in, my old Syracuse sleeping pants and things like that, and was just sitting front row, not thinking anything of it. And he kneels down in front of her, is like, "Hello, Syracuse." She showered, no makeup, figured nobody knows me, nothing's going to happen. I'm just going to sit here. And that's the time he chooses to point her out in front of everybody. She'll kill me for telling this story, but it's worth it.
What she don't know won't hurt her.
Oh, yeah, you poor thing.
And she's like, the embarrassment is because she has a social anxiety and stuff too, and so the anxiety and the embarrassment level is rising. And she looks at me and he goes, "Oh, don't look at him, look at me. Every other girl in this room would kill to be in your position right now."
He is cute. I mean, yeah. So, I mean,
he's one of those people that girls and guys want.
Yeah, he kind of is. He's just got that charisma, doesn't he? He's not just good looking. He just has that charisma, and he's nice to boot.
Oh, he's an amazing person. And one thing I respect about Tatum is he's to the point. Sometimes brutally honest, but
in a good way.
That's he'll tell you when it comes to his panels, his 18+ panels of no recording. If you're easily offended, get the F out. Yeah. And for his 18+ panel, he's got certain rules and he will not bend them. And that's where you get to see a whole different side of Tatum, but it's hysterical. And if you're over 18, you're not easily offended. His panel, his 18+ panel, is worth the price of admission to any convention he's at, in my honest opinion.
No, first time I met him, we did, it was at AAC. And me, Don Higgins, I don't remember who the other artist was. We did a win, lose, or draw artist versus voice actors, and he was among the voice actors, and he was hysterical. He was we were cracking up.
I mean, it makes me sad that we can't play the show IDs right now because I have to figure out how to turn audio into a video so I can put the video clips up.
Yeah.
Because we have him as Sebastian from Black Butler.
Oh, so cool.
Doing a show ID for us.
Yeah.
And, such really all in all, just about every voice actor I've met has been very nice. Most of them are amazing people. And, everyone who's, and I'm not just saying about the voice actors that we're lucky enough to have come on the show. I'm talking about the ones I've met at conventions who haven't been on the show. Yeah. They have been genuinely nice people. They have a good, for the most part, at any workplace you have the quarrels between, employees. Right. But for the most part, they're all amazing people.
That's awesome. That's good because that doesn't happen often.
Uh-oh, what do you got going on here, Darren?
Nothing. You had asked earlier about me pulling stuff up, so
okay.
Anything you want me to pull up, I will gladly pull up.
All right.
That was a little.
Yeah, I looked up. I didn't realize what was fully going on there. If you want to pull up the Lady Scotty pick, so people knew who we were talking about earlier. As soon as I see that up, I'll bring it up on the screen. Just let me know when. I keep hitting the button by mistake. Just boop. Word things coming up, down, up, down, up, down. And sorry, Mario, and everybody out there watching.
And apparently I can green screen also. That was interesting.
I need to get a screen up. No, it's as you can tell, we have these slanted ceilings. So if I put a green screen up, it's going to be kind of weird shaped and whatnot.
Well, it's got to be better than the halo of light going on behind my head from the kitchen.
And you had done some remodeling because for those who don't know, my wife and I went out to visit Karen at her home. I think like a year before Eva was born. That was an exciting road trip because we flew a tire on the highway on the way there.
Yeah, I remember you calling and saying, "Hey, we're gonna be late." I'm like, "It's fine,"
and we were there on time.
It turned out you were fine. Yeah,
because we left early.
Yeah, and I think Leanne had made an outfit that morning or something, and I'm just staring at this outfit, going, "This morning."
Yep. Yeah, it was a Pokemon dress.
Yeah, I was floored. It was amazing.
Is that ready to come up, Darren?
Huh?
So that's Lady Scotty.
That's beautiful.
I see you chose a PG version of her because I know there's one of her. She's getting ready to be examined by the doctor.
This was on the wiki, so.
Excuse me.
That's how she appears through a lot of the early scenes, and then when you actually get to see her face, it's like, dude, she's actually really cute.
Oh, I love it.
So that's where I'm like, you know what? I kind of like Dragon Girls.
Hey,
actual scenes from the anime.
No. Well done. Well done. Good girl. Sorry, I'm talking to my dog. It's you good girl.
That's the mermaid girl. That's the one Leanne really likes.
I like that one.
Oh, that's Lady Scotty. That's from the manga.
Okay.
The centaur.
I kind of want to see more of the centaur.
That's the Lamia. She's the nurse, so she's the doctor's right-hand girl who has a thing for him. And that's the doctor there, Dr. Glenn.
Oh, cool.
I've thought about cosplaying him because it's a simple cosplay.
Hey, well done.
So we're pulling that back down. Thank you, Darren, for the displays.
Uh-huh.
I think we have Karen looking into a couple of new animes to watch.
Yeah, that's
Monster Girl Doctor. I think would be more for you and Tom. I'm not sure if Summer would be into it. I mean, there's some adult content, like nothing really R-rated, but some adult innuendos and stuff. She's probably old enough to pick up on, and I don't know if you want her to see that.
You know what? I gotta say this about Summer. She's an amazing kid, and she's really mature, and she's really careful about what she watches. And there's been a few times where she's watched something that had some adult innuendo or adult conversations about sex or violence, and she's really taken it in thoughtfully and come away with it with some really good insights. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, it would still be something for me and Tom. I wouldn't be actively watching it with her, but if she happened to see something by accident, I mean.
Yeah, I know some parents out there are very protective. Like there are certain there's 95% of the animes Leanne and I watch. We won't let Winry watch because she's not.
Right.
Evie's too young to understand, so she'll sit there and watch. Leanne will watch some shows that are way too adult for Evie, but then again, Evie enjoys shows like Sergeant Frog and things. Show by Rock, perfect for the family.
I miss Sergeant Frog. I love Sergeant Frog. Yeah, and while Summer has, kind of grown out of anime and fantasy fiction and stuff like that, she does enjoy the occasional show. And sometimes she watches something with her friends when when she's over at her friends and the parents aren't walking. You know how it is. Parents aren't there. They watch something that's a little bit more adult. And, I'm lucky enough that we have some very honest and open conversations about some of the stuff she watches, and while we don't actively parenting advice for all you folks out there, sorry, didn't mean to like get that deep, but it's like we don't actively watch stuff like that with her, but every once in a while she'll see something at a friend's house and we'll talk about it, and I am genuinely impressed with some of the insights she has. We really got lucky.
Yeah.
I'd say, Doug, on that note, Miss Karen, I would definitely recommend this one to her.
Okay, cool.
What do you think, Doug?
Oh, Maidens in Your Savage Season.
That's the one you binged in a single day, I think. Remember when the girls are starting to learn, basically?
Oh yeah, it was the book club, and they wanted to start talking about some more adult content.
Yes.
And like everything went haywire when the word sex was brought up in their club.
Yeah, they didn't know how to react to it.
That one actually I think might be fun for the whole family, for you, Karen, especially where Summers can.
I'm reading a little bit of the synopsis here. Oh wow, it's really like a coming of age kind of thing.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's not just straight up innuendos like one of my favorite shows. The student counsel's discretion.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Set the kayak window. That where they just literally throw around innuendos the entire show.
Yeah, it's not easy. I mean, we have reached the point in our parenting lives where she has middle school going into high school, and she hears things, and it's the most we can do is explain these things to her and be honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's
better she learns it from the parents than get bad advice from friends and other sources.
I would prefer it. Yeah, it's not always something you can control, but trying to roll with it and figure out how to turn it into a teachable moment. It's
get those moms to, where did you hear that?
Yeah. Oh, those are in my future. That hasn't happened yet, but yes.
I think it was the comedian Bill Engvall who said it best, where he was like, my son's reached that age where he has questions, so I figure we'll have the talk. I'll sit down with him, and I'll ask him what he knows, and then I'll fill in the blanks. 15 minutes later, I got a notepad out going, you can do that? What?
What? Wait a minute. Wait, slow down. No, I think we ended up having the talk a couple years ago when she had the cervical cancer vaccine, and she's observant enough and bright enough and smart enough to pick up on certain things that the doctor had said, and in the car she asked about them, which evolved into the talk. And it was a very awkward half-hour ride in the car as I'm going, yeah, the talk.
Oh,
I was hoping I had a few more years on this one. But,
Tom, you take this.
Honey,
Tom, where did you go?
Where are you? It's done. I'm alone. No, it wasn't like that at all. But it was just, you kind of. But she took it like a pro, and she's just like, everything was accepted as just like, oh, okay, that's why. I'm like, this is too easy. What's going on here?
That was too easy, but thank you.
Yeah, I know. It's like I just happen to have a good kid. But yeah, it's that devolved into that.
We've already touched all sorts of subjects tonight, haven't we? Welcome to Anime-Zing Radio, the show where anything can happen.
Including parenting tips.
We're about as improv as Whose Line Is Anyway. You know, the show where the points don't matter. Everything's made up and the points don't matter.
Oh, we made up everything. We made up everything on this show. No, we didn't.
No.
No.
Points and reviews reflected on the show do not incorporate.
Do not reflect the points and reviews of Anime-Zing Radio. Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada.
Disclaimer.
Makoto Misaka said so.
Yeah, see? There you go. Said so.
The railgun. You don't mess with the railgun.
Never mess with a railgun. Never mess with a railgun.
We have been going for 2 hours. I think it's about time to say goodbye and good night to our wonderful audience out there. Before we go, though, Karen, let everybody know where they can find your artwork if they want to contact you for some commission work. Any place people can find you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm still working up to Instagram. That might be a process, so don't wait on me for that one. Facebook, Karen Gosselin Illustration 42 on Facebook. You can find me. I welcome questions if you want any advice on art or tabling. I am not accepting commissions at this moment because we were going through a lot of changes. Tom's changing jobs, so it's causing a lot of a little bit of chaos. So we're just putting a break on that for temporarily. But yeah, feel free to contact me, and I love having conversations about artwork. So.
And once again, we want to thank all of our wonderful listeners out there. If you're new to the channel, if you've watched this the whole way through, hit that subscribe button. We deserve that for you having to deal with my nonsense for this, for 2 hours. Of course, amazing guest Karen joining us tonight. Of course, a big thank you to our co-host, Zenobia, as it says down there, which many of you might remember that name from early days of AZR, because Darren started off as a fan in the chat room as Zenobia and worked his way into the co-host seat.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
A big thank you to... Oh, go ahead.
I remember when I was one of the people you interviewed.
Yeah. Darren has sat in all seats on this show, from just a fan in the chat room, having his comments read on the air, to being a guest and interview, to asking the questions.
That's fantastic.
We truly do love our fans. I know I say that all the time, but really, we do this show for you guys out there who tune in every week. Even though we're small here on YouTube, like I said, we hit that 200 subscriber goal, where we'll pick one random subscriber to join us as a co-host for a interview with a voice actor.
Ooh.
And the faster you get that done, like I said, September is the month of voice actors right now. Coming up next week,
Subscribe.
Coming up September 5th, we have Bryn April from Funimation. You know her as Kotori Itsuka in Data Live. She's also been in Attack on Titan and Senran Kaguya and many, many other amazing shows. And including, if I remember correctly, she was the friend Nene in New Game, which is an anime I love.
Ooh.
September 12th, we do not have a live show scheduled at this time because that is supposed to be Kineticon weekend. If we are at the convention, I am trying to work on some things about possibly live streaming from the event, which if we can get the things worked out how I want, we might even try to live stream the press conferences in the morning with the guests that they do. And every morning they have 3 or 4 different guests that will go up for an hour for a press conference style interview. And so if we can do that, that'll be great. If not, just keep an eye on our YouTube channel. We're going to be posting more shows. The AZR reviews is going to be a little delayed this week because of our trip last weekend and things that have happened this week. I have not even started watching the show of choice. Sorry, Darren, I have not started Death Parade yet. I have barely been able to watch any anime this week because of schedule changing and, the drive to Pennsylvania and back. And
Don't feel too bad. The only anime I got in this week was Slime because, well, as you know, sun up to sundown and then some.
You're playing with grass.
Mm.
Playing with grass and also playing with chicken.
And
Sorry.
September 19th, we have Macy Ann Johnson is going to be joining. Also, September 26th, we have got Anthony Bowling coming back. So it's been a while since we've talked with Bren and Anthony. Macy joined us on July 25th when we talked with her about voicing Hawan from Shinobi Rock Mashimaresh. So we'll talk more Hawan with her and a lot of her other amazing roles that she's had a part of. October 3rd, we have Sophia Koppen from the UK is going to be joining us. She's going to be staying up late, so you really don't want to miss that show. It's going to be fun to have the views of an anime fan from another country, which you don't get to hear a lot. And I'd love to hear the insights of people who get to watch the anime via different streaming sites, what her take is on the Subverse stuff, things of that nature. It's great to see what they get to experience in other countries because I've never been outside the U.S. and I live 45 minutes from Canada.
Yes, you do.
October 10th, we have God's Will is going to be coming back, along with potentially some mystery guests. And Mario Bueno may be joining us as well for that. I gave him the message on that. I think he put it in his calendar. I'll touch base. I know Darren's going to keep up on God's Will to make sure he can still make it and see who we have to send the contact links out to for his guests that he wants to bring on with him. And October 17th, like I said, we have a Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid special with one confirmed guest thus far, still waiting on more. Keep an eye on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Anime-Zing Radio, for updates about the shows we have coming up, our updated schedule list. And if you have ideas of guests you want us to try to get on the show, whether they be your favorite cosplayers, artists, comic creators, voice actors, gamers, whatever, drop us a message. Let us know who you want to see us bring on. We do this show for you guys. We love the fans. We really do. I try to give back as much as I can. Darren and Mario can attest to that we brought them on. So
if they'll bring us on, he'll bring anybody on.
So until next week, when we welcome Bryn April to the show, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to Karen for joining us for 2 hours. I know it's a bit of a different format from what she's used to when she's joined us in the past, but I kind of like the video feed better.
This is fun. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed this. This is really a great format. Yeah.
Until next week, I hope everybody has a wonderful week. Stay safe out there. Keep watching the anime. Enjoy those shows. And My Hero Academia is still overrated.